Hey, it's Monster, one half of your dynamic hosting duo of the Nerdy Man Room Show. Proudly bringing you another Man Room Short. Enjoy, and as always, please remember, viewer discretion is advised.
Pick maybe your top 5 to 8, character figures or characters or toys, whether it was a vehicle or a character. What was some of your top ones?
Ooh,
And no, this is not the nerd out question. This is just a random.
yeah, that's actually a really good one, Monster. Ooh, dude, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna go with favorites, not so much favorite characters, but just figures I enjoyed, and
Yeah, and that's what I meant.
I thought they
Right?
were the coolest ones.
And that's what I meant in first
The
place.
Techno Viper is a very undervalued figure. He's really cool. The Bat, um, the General Hawk that had the jetpack,
Oh yes.
where the wings actually come out. I loved that figure growing up. For some reason, I was always a sucker for wetsuit. I don't know why he was so cool to me.
That's a cool one.
And just something about him was really really cool. And then you were kind of hating on it a little while back. That version of Snake Eyes where he's in the blue and black and silver.
Oh, the Ninja.
I shared it up. Yeah, I shared it on our social media a few days
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
That was one of my. He was fun. He was a cool character, and he looked great to me. I was probably my big five.
I will say that is not my least favorite, but that is one of the ones that he wasn't my top tier one. The Snake Eyes
He
I like
wasn't
was the
stealthy.
Ninja one. Yeah.
He wasn't stealthy at all, but he was cool looking.
Yeah. For me, I think um, Duke was always my absolute favorite. So him, Flint. For whatever reason, I always liked Dial Tone and Lieutenant Falcon. I guess I just like the Green Beret type of ones. Those were cool. And then Barbecue was he was my hey, this is my go-to guy for whatever reason. I had a Slaughter as a kid, and I would say him, but for whatever reason Slaughter was the only GI Joe I had that the thumb on both hands broke off, so he couldn't hold a damn thing but both hands. And I did have his little tank, which was a cool thing, but my favorite vehicle was the Tiger Force, the plane, the VTOL one, where the wings would turn up and it could raise straight up to take off, and then it would turn the turbines and the wings out straight. That was my favorite vehicle for whatever reason. I love that one.
The Night Raven was probably my favorite. That was so cool to me. It was it looked like the Blackbird, but it was so cool. And if I had some honorable mentions, I'd have to give some love to Sci-Fi, Dial Tone, like
Great
you said.
figure.
He was so fun. Lifeline, I really liked him.
I love Lifeline. I don't know why he's always hated on, but he was
I don't
my
either.
favorite.
But these are some figures I want to see made into the classified line.
I actually
all three of those I would love to see in the classified line. And then Bazooka and Alpine, that was my Joes. I love to play with.
And I'll throw another vehicle in there that I thought was an honorable mention to me was Cross Country's Havoc. Now, I didn't care for Cross Country himself, but his Havoc was a cool vehicle.
It was very cool.
But
even though he put a tape deck in it, and Beachhead got upset about it.
So what was the? Let me ask you this too. What was the one or two top, whether it's figures or play sets or vehicles that you didn't get that you really wanted? That if you could go back today and find one at a reasonable price, you'd probably buy it and put it up immediately.
Hands down, the Cobra Thunderdrome, or however you say it, the big circular thing. That guy.
Yeah.
That's number one.
I can find you one of those. I know where one's at right now.
I bet I can't afford it.
Probably not. I'm sure it's like $200 to $300 unless you want to spend it on that. But I know where one's at because I see it every time I go to the store.
And as much as I would love to say the flag, I got to go with the space shuttle.
Oh,
that
the Defiant.
Yes, it was so neat to me. Now, those two right there would be my go-tos. Like if somebody said, "Hey, wish upon this beer can and you get these two items," those would probably be it. They put a MOC, and I would have to cringe against everything in me not to open them.
For me, my favorite vehicle, the one I never had that I always wanted, was the Whale, the hovercraft that Cutter drove for the Joes. I just always liked that vehicle. That one was impressive to me, and I don't know if there, off the top of my head, just trying to think of them. I don't know if there is another one or not, but that's the one that stands out the most to me that I wanted. Yeah, that's well. I take that back. The other one, I had one, and I think I got it secondhand. Somebody, like saw it at a flea market or whatever, so it was missing pieces. So I will say this because I want a full one, but the Tomahawk,
Oh
the Joe's
man.
Rescue Helicopter, because I had that, but the blade, I was missing some of the blades. Like I think there was 4 or
Yep.
5 blades on it, 4 to 6, and I only had like 2 on it. So I could play with it, but also like the winch and stuff, and I was missing. I wanted that to be the rescue copter with lift ticket and lifeline coming out to rescue my Joes. And
I remember being about 7 or 8, and my next door neighbor at my grandparents' house, he had everything. Like I used to think they were rich when I was little because he had everything. Literally, he only was one kid, but he had bunk beds. So that was automatically cool in the 80s. But like the top bunk, he had all the vehicles up there, like laid out in a playset type
yeah,
deal. And then he had, all the figures and whatnot. And I just remember going over there and I could just like look like just in amazement. And I guess, his mother, she I mean, because me and him played, together for years. I mean, I'd always go over there and, check out everything that he had. It was always so cool to me. And I remember she bought me, like, for my birthday, the barbecue. I was so excited. And my grandmother, she had these shrubbery out front. So, we're little assholes. We throw them up in the air and watch a parachute down.
yeah.
Parachute comes loose. He goes straight in those boxwoods. I've had him all of 30 minutes. Never found him.
Oh,
Never
that's
found
a
him. I
heartbreak right there.
got stung by 2 wasps. So then I'm terrified to go look for him again. And like I just remember like years later, I'm trimming them son of a bitches like, I know my damn figure's still in here somewhere. Never found him. So yeah. But that was always so cool to me.
Oh, that is neat. Yeah.
He had he had a tomahawk though, and he actually had it like kind of displayed, kind of.
That's an awesome vehicle, and I see them all the time now. I'm like, I can't afford that. Not for what it is now.
No,
So-
that's an expensive rabbit hole to go down because I went through that about 10 years ago.
Yeah, I try to avoid it, especially now that they're doing some of these other ones, and I want to see make some of these vehicles in a larger scale. But that was going to be my next question to you. If you can pick your poison, what do you prefer? New figures over old, and what size? 6-inch, 3.75. And I guess that's the question between new and old is what size do you prefer to do, the classified size or
Well, I guess because like I said, I went down that rabbit hole 10 years ago where I went for a while where I was spending a ridiculous amount of money on the 3 3/4. I think it was around the time the 25th anniversary line come out.
yeah.
I started buying them off eBay and I was going for all the core originals. And I left them at a friend's house to guard for me. And his wife, who will remain nameless, decided to cut the damn air off to this room and ruined all but a handful. And like the O-rings fall, the rubber band falls, the joints. I was careful. Tight joints. I had them displayed at one point before my divorce. Well, they all come home with loose joints, and most of them the rubber band had done broke. They're in pieces.
Yeah.
So the only one I got 2 left that are still mint. Thankfully, I don't know how they survived because they were in bubble wrap, I guess. But I do have a gung ho and a dial tone. Both of those are mint with all accessories, file cards. But so I've been down that rabbit hole. I'm at a point now where I prefer the classified. I like the larger scale, the detail. I want to see. I'm gonna stick a little closer to the cartoon look
That's
without
exactly what I was
sacrificing
going
the
to say.
detail.
I was going to agree with you 100% because I like the classified ones and I like some of the realism they give them, but I also want it to be a little closer to what I saw animated wise, right? Like the barbecue is a good cross between the two of them, and I see him behind you. The last roadblock was, which I'm gonna fuss at Hasbro right now because I just got an email today telling me my roadblock that I see sitting behind your shoulder is not coming out until August now, and you've already got yours from Amazon, so have everybody else. But the one that
I've
I
had
ordered
it
from
for quite
Hasbro
some
Pulse
time.
is not coming till August. it got delayed from this month to August. And I'm like, this is like the 4th delay on it. But
Well,
like
now, on that note, Amazon giveth and taketh away too, because like literally, I just got my Ultimate Warrior, my Ultimate Warrior in today that I pre-ordered last August.
yeah, it's
So
everybody's having the issues, but at the same time, it's like, I will reserve the right to complain about someone when I know that they've been giving them out to certain stores, but I'm still suffering, and I'm paying for the subscription service, so I'm going to complain. But
I'm a fan of the way they've done this roadblock. He looks
yeah,
tremendously better than the other two. I wish they had to put the helmet on him in the box because I want to open him to get that damn helmet off so I could get him in bald glory.
yeah. Yeah, well, the first Duke is good, but it just wasn't. It was a little far removed. It was a little too realistic, from the build of the figure. Now, when they repainted him and re-released him, it was a little bit better because it was closer to the animated series in that aspect. But it was still, half of one, 6 of the other.
Well, let me ask you this, Monster. We know they're doing the retro line, and they're going to be classified scale. Most of them's going to be like basically repainted with a little minor retooling.
Sure.
If Duke comes out looking a little closer to that cartoon look, do you go in for him?
If they change some of the outfit, like the boots are way off for what Duke would be. The bandolier was okay that they gave him. The shirt was okay once they repainted it. The pants and the gloves and stuff were just too far removed from me. So unless they take those off, probably not. Now, like the gun.
Well, they gave him a very tactical look, but Duke wasn't exactly. He was supposed to be the leader. He wasn't going to be tactical in the field always.
Yeah, now like the gun code where it's a repaint of that what's already been released, but it's cartoon accurate. I will probably get him to have that version opened. Because
he has the correct hat in this one.
Yeah.
And the only gripe I've seen at all about him is they did correct some of the chest tattoo, but they still didn't go full blown.
Yeah.
It's bigger than it was, but not quite where it should be.
I can live with some of that because the way I'm going to pose him anyway, you're not going to be able to see all of it anyhow.